Welcome to the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate, giving you all of your real estate news alongside the Lone Ranger. We're talking about interest rates. We're talking about this hot Central Florida home market. When will it end? How do you buy a house? How much is your house worth? How much is it going to keep going up?
And where are you going to move if you sell one?
Yeah, that's the hard problem now to solve. I think there's a lot of people that would sell their home, but they're worried about how do I sell it, get the next home? Because nobody, I don't say nobody, I've gotten it done, but most, if you got multiple offers on a property, they don't want the offer contingent on your house closing, which in a normal market, that's the way I've done it for 30 years.
Not when you have so many people wanting the same house. And nobody wants to have a contingency.
Yep, and even, it's funny, even in 06, 05, 06, 07, before the wheels came off the bus, we didn't have that problem. People would take it no matter what. They knew it was going to close. But lending is much more responsible now and makes sense. It does make sense because, like, you have zero defaults.
Yep. I don't have any defaults.
Yeah,
now.
The biggest myth I hear.
Unless the client dies.
Yeah, the biggest myth I have out there now is there's a COVID foreclosure wave coming. Yeah. So anyway, but I think the biggest thing I saw this week, Bruce, I want to talk to you about the interest rates, but the biggest thing I saw, news from Fox Business, about the median home price in the whole country is now $405,000. Up 18% from the year. Up 14% from the year before, and
that's national though.
That's national.
That's not local.
That's not local. Ours is about 375. So
yeah, but we're up 20%.
But think about this: we are great weather.
Yep.
We're a great state, low tax structure, affordable properties compared to the rest of the country, and then California. Guess what the median price in California is?
Oh God, I'm afraid to ask.
We got it here.
And you know what? We're 20 years behind them when it comes to real estate values. If you follow it, we're 20 years behind them.
California's median price in some of their larger cities is $900,000 to $1.4 million.
For a median price.
For their median price. So
that's $1 million more than we are.
Like I said, this is what's happening. I can't wait till I'm proven right by the figures. We don't have them yet. But Florida's moving from like the 20th most expensive state, I would say, to like number 13 or 14 or 15.
Well, I think that's reasonable.
But think about California. Would you move there?
I only would move to California for the weather.
Lottery. Yeah, if you hit the lottery and you got great weather, they've got mountains and they got views, but we got oceans. But our median price is literally half what theirs is. Yeah. And I think that's just going to readjust.
And we don't have a nut bar running our state. We got a smart governor.
Yeah, and nobody tell us we can't mow our lawn unless we got an electric lawnmower, stuff like that. But the Northeast has a higher tax structure than we do, and snow 5-7 months out of the year. So we've got the great weather. I think this is just a big adjustment of people just saying, well, I can work remotely, or I don't have to, I don't have to live in this high tax state. Florida's going to keep climbing. So even if we have a slowdown, which will probably be, I say, this interest rate rise is probably.
I think even over this summer we could see a slowdown.
I think so, but it's to get to a healthy market. I think we need about 6,000 homes for sale. That's a
we're not even
market.
Close to that.
No, we're not. And I get those numbers next. I'll have those on next week's show about where we're at on inventory, and I think we're probably about the same, about a 2 to 3 week supply, depending on what price range you are. And it's going to keep going.
We're hoping that Cleve and I bring value to you. Whether you are currently looking to buy, sell a house, or refinance a house, it doesn't matter to us. We want this show to be about something that we bring value to you so that you can leave knowing a little bit more about what's happening in the economic state of your real estate. Because if you own property, you want to know where your money is. You want to know what your 401k does. You get your Merrill Lynch statement every month. You want to know what that looks like. Yeah. And we're trying to keep you up to date as to what's going on. But I got some interesting news here because if I can follow, do we have a minute to follow on that shirt tail? So I got this article, came out of the interweb, and it was talking about different areas of the country, and I identified a few of them that I thought were important as to the median income. So right now, Daytona has a 25.5% growth. Your median income in January is $258,000 right now. Okay, yep. $258,000 in Daytona. But this is a projected growth that in 2025, that's only in what, 3 more years?
Yeah,
will be 537. So now I got Lakeland.
Not the income, the home value.
The home value. Did I say income?
Yeah, that's what
I'm sorry.
I'm like, wow, I'm going to move to Daytona.
No, I'm sorry. No, I meant home value.
Okay.
Average home value, median value right now is $258. It's projected in in 3 more years to be 530. That's a double the price.
I think
Now,
that's optimistic, but I think that's a trend that we're seeing part of the beginning of now.
well, it's because what they've done is they factored in the inflation on what it's going to cost to build a home. Because if it costs you that to build a home, people that already own a home aren't going to sell for less than it costs you to build.
Yep.
The builders are actually driving the prices up right now,
Yep.
and they have to because the houses are going up. Lakeland, 263.8 median price right now, projected to go in Lakeland to 640 in Lakeland. Lakeland.
I think that's really optimistic.
640. Well, that's by 2026.
Okay.
So all their
We'll be doing the
algorithms-
show then. I don't think I'm retiring soon.
I'm not retiring soon, but here's the thing. Some people may go, you know what? The whole article was about it's going to get too expensive for people to buy. Like, I don't know how people can buy in Santa Monica. Santa Monica is a regular little city.
Well, I think if anybody can bring wages up, like the one thing I see this past I've seen a lot of business. Now, that's not just the service industry and the tourist industry. I think there's a lot of businesses coming to Florida and relocating here because of the tax structure too.
For sure.
And COVID amplified that too. Being told you got to shut down your restaurant chain because of we're all gonna die.
Right.
You got to wear a mask inside. You can't serve inside, just outside.
And you
All
got to
those
wear a
things.
mask if you're walking to the bathroom.
I know a couple people, restaurant owners up in the Northeast, shut down, came here, opened up a restaurant.
Thank God they did.
Yeah, so
and we
things like
welcome
that.
them.
And that's just, I think, typical. COVID just amplified our politics to show that we're a friendly state, whatever your party is. Now, I want to ask you, interest rates, are we still in the 4s?
Well, we're still in the 4s, but we're pushing the 5s already. You know, it's interesting because I've been watching. We've lost a lot of ground on the bond market again this week. So week before last, we saw the largest increase in rate in a 1-week period of time since 2013. Mm-hmm. This week was not that much different. So Tuesday, we lost 85 basis points. Now, keep in mind, people don't know what the heck a basis point does to them, but when we put it in perspective, when we're talking about losing basis points, it's on the bond yield. For every 100 basis points that the bond yield drops, you pay 1 more point. Well, we lost 85 in 1 day. So you went from whatever was at 0 points, cost you almost a full point by the end of the day, right? And that was just 1 day this week.
But I always go back to when I first got in the mortgage business, rates were 8%.
When you first got in the real estate
real estate. When I first got in, and then during the bubble, they were 7%.
Right.
So it's more affordable than
renting. That's for sure.
And we've also got all the people that refinanced, the bazillions of people that refinanced over the past couple of years have locked in their savings.
Right.
And it's funny. There's probably, I'm sure you probably wouldn't do it, but I know there's some refi-aholics out there that would call you every 18 months if they could and say, Bruce, can you refi me? I got another $40,000 in credit card debt.
Right.
And they could easily do the loan. That's how a lot of these companies on the radio, you hear like all these
They
ads.
do. They're churning.
They're churning them.
They're churning them, yeah.
But with higher rates, it's going to lock people in. And it's funny, I've had some investment properties, and even the way the rates came down, it wasn't worth refinancing because I'm looking at, wait a minute, I've had those properties 15
Your
years.
investment properties now, with all the loan level pricing adjustments that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have impacted, and including second homes, because they're already in the 6s.
Yeah.
They're already in the 6s.
Yep.
So I'm expecting that a primary residence will be in the 6s probably by summer, if not sooner than that.
Yeah.
If not sooner than that. You got to remember, the Fed's only had 1 Fed hike. They're telling us they're going to do 6 more.
And so what this does, so interest rates in the past month, we've lost the 3s, we're in the 4s. That's the house
We're
that
quickly approaching 5s, and in some cases we're in 5s.
And so, but what that does to the buyer out there looking for that house for $500, if they could afford $500, where are they at now? They're about $450, $475.
What do you mean as far as?
Well, if the rate's gone up that much, what does it take away in their buying power?
Well, I mean, obviously, the higher the rate, the lower your buying power. But everyone is different. It's, you know what? There's no rule of thumb that when it comes to that. Now, I could tell you that for every point that interest rates go up on a $350,000 house, because that was about the average, would cost you about $350.
Okay.
So if you're talking $500,000, then it's probably about $500 a month more for that rate increase.
Yep.
So it does reduce your buying power considerably. If those are numbers that you think would be important, I'd be happy to pull up a chart that would give me how much are you planning on paying extra. But here's the thing. You know what? I said this. We had a movie night earlier in the week, And I was talking to a group of folks, and I said, I don't care that the interest rates are going up. I know they're going to hit the sixes. And I'm okay with that. I don't like it as much as the threes, but I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is when we don't start seeing that appreciation that we want. Because I don't care if you're paying a 10% interest rate, if you're making if your house is going up 10% per year, you're way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And if your house is going up 17%, you're way ahead of the game.
Well, and rents are rising.
Rents are going up 20%.
Rents are going to pay, no matter, even if you got a 6% interest rate on investment property, you're going to make money on rent. Or you could do, like we say, and leapfrog out.
For sure.
Have that after you've owned the house for a year or two, and then that primary home has got that low interest rate, you rent that out. So there's all different ways around this.
And Cleve, you always say there is no such thing as
a rich renter.
There's no such thing as a rich renter.
We should brand some T-shirts.
We should. And you know what? I look at that, and if you ask a client out there, hey, do you think you would want a fixed rate or an adjustable rate mortgage? Everybody's going, well, I don't want an adjustable rate. Well, that's what you're doing if you're renting. Yeah, that's an adjustable rate. Yeah. There's no end in sight. It could go anywhere.
Well, and the market always responds. When I got in the business, my mom they had assumable mortgages.
Sure.
And I remember her when I was in high school working second mortgages on properties. They're selling the house for $120. The first mortgage is
Seller held seconds.
Seller held seconds, and they're negotiating. I remember hearing her negotiating interest rates at 10, 12, 14%.
Isn't that funny?
And it was going to be a 5-year mortgage, and this was the payment on it, and they're going to assume that mortgage. And it's funny, in my 30 years, I've never done an assumable mortgage. And did you ever have it in the beginning there?
I've done some. Yeah, because VA was assumable, and it still is.
With
qualifying. There's no more no qualifying. FHA is still assumable loan. So, and that I don't ever recommend you do that unless we are in a high rate market and you can assume a low rate interest.
Yeah.
The problem with assuming a loan is that the person that you're assuming it from is never off the hook completely.
Really?
Never off the hook completely.
Is that the assumable no qualifying?
No, there is no qualifying. No, those don't exist anymore.
Oh, I know those went away. Like in those the 70s,
don't. Those don't exist anymore.
Those were like gold.
But if you have a mortgage that's an FHA or VA, somebody can assume that they have to qualify for it.
Hook, yeah.
But here's the thing: what happens when somebody assumes your mortgage? They assume the new debt, but you're still on the hook for it ultimately. But if they default, the lender is not allowed to tell you that the person that assumed your mortgage is in default.
Ruh-roh.
Yes, because there is a right to privacy issue with credit. So you get foreclosed on, but never know
Just call the loan arranger at what phone number?
407-250-9144, 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com.
And if you're thinking about selling, you want to get an idea of how to coordinate that process of how do we get the new home, move out of the old home, are we going to rent it? I can do a market analysis for you to rent it or to sell it. You need any help with that, call me at 407-352-8118.
Yeah, so, and if you have any questions about how to remove those contingencies, I have a system that will increase your odds in a multiple offer situation. If you are a buyer, I'll increase your odds by 30%. I'll elevate you. So if you're tired of making offers on property and not getting them, it may not be because of your offer. It may be because of the lender you're working with. Call me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com.
How much time we got left, Bruce?
We got about 1 minute.
Okay. I've got something here talking about. It's funny. I'm seeing some talking heads. They're trying to keep the focus off the White House because it's such a disaster there. And I have some talking heads talking about how the home building industry is headed for disaster. I'm like, how can that be when they got buyers stacked up waiting like just
waiting
lists, racked up
waiting
lists? And this is around the country. And this guy's saying because of inflation and supply chain problems, they've got a problem. No,
they do have a problem.
Well,
but that actually creates more of a demand for the house.
They're actually more profitable, I'd say, at this point. They're not building as many homes. I guarantee you they're making more profit on these things. So don't see their stocks tanking. But this guy, it's funny. Get your real estate news from somebody in the trenches. Get your mortgage news and advice from somebody in the trenches like Bruce. We're available to call at 407-352-8118. Bruce?
Yeah, or you can call me at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Owner Ranger Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. This is the home of your Central Florida real estate news, as I've been doing for every weekend for the past 25 years. Bruce, we need to throw a 25-year celebration party.
We should do that.
We need to do that.
And invite all of our listeners out there.
Let's do that. Let's put that down for, all right.
We'll do a Dan Newland concert.
Let's do, you going to play? Have you playing guitar?
Yeah.
That's probably about all we can afford. Anyway, but no, we should do that. Anyway, but I am in the business full-time, 7 days a week. We're doing real estate. Nobody in my office has a man bun. Nobody's going to ask you what your spirit animal is. Nobody's going to stare at you with a blank stare and say, where do you want to price your house at? Where do you want to put the rent at?
What's wrong with a man bun?
It's a masculine misfire of the 21st century. All right. Anyway, on to real estate news. Believe it or not, Bruce, in this hot market, multiple offers still coming in. I can tell I can't tell if we're at the turn or the top.
I keep thinking we are, and then I get fooled.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm getting? I'm getting people calling me that were listed for 90 days and did not sell. And
anybody that's listed for 90 days in this market either has a bad realtor, is overpriced, or their house just is not prepared properly.
I see some marketing problems. I see some staging problems. I see some access problems. But I can walk in, I walked into this unit, and I had three simple fixes, not adjusting the price. Price was literally okay. I saw several simple fixes that will get this property sold. I'm going to list that. I'll probably have it on the show next weekend.
Oh, good.
So, also got one, just real quick. I've only got 2 listings right now to talk about. Everything else is under contract. I've got one for $1.8 million on the Sandlake chain, 6 bedrooms, 4,500 square feet, with a pool, dock, boat lift, everything, all the bells and whistles, custom built on the Sandlake chain. Watch the SeaWorld fireworks out your back porch across the lake. Watch your Disney fireworks out your front porch on your patio. Beautiful property, 3-car garage. Like I said, 6 bedrooms, 5 baths, bonus room, study, all the bells and whistles. Give me a call at 407-352-8118.
Yeah, and you know what? I've got a great jumbo product. My jumbo loan is absolutely unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
20% down, great rates. But I've got that specialty jumbo program that's 5% down up to $1,750,000, 3% down to $1,500,000, and no PMI. So if you want to keep your money in the bank and not spend it, I got to verify.
In the market, the bank's going to give you 1%.
Right.
Maybe 2% by the end of the year.
In the market.
In the
not
market.
In the bank.
With your
We're
financial
not talking
planner.
about it in your
With
checking
your financial
account.
planner, yeah.
Right. Call me at that. I'd be happy to help you. I've got the best and the most loan programs of any lender I've ever seen. And I mean that. I can confidently say that. You can reach me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Or go right to my website at webringyouhome.com. Cleve?
On this inventory we've got, I should have these new numbers for you next week. We got, like I said, about a 2-week supply of homes. That hot price point, this is the hardest one, is if you're a first-time buyer trying to buy something for $350,000, and I remember, that's funny, a year ago that was $250,000 or $275,000. If you're that downsized buyer selling the big house and you need something, this is where you've got to coordinate that process. Excuse me. And I can help you get set up to do that. Just give us a call, 407-352-8118.
Yep, or the Loan Arranger at 407-250-9144, 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com. Again, Cleve's number is 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger radio show.
Welcome back to the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland. Check up and down your street, one of those rooftops. I've probably sold it, helped somebody buy it, or managed it in the past 40 years. My family has. Been doing Central Florida real estate for that long. Alongside somebody's been doing mortgages on those properties for
33 years.
33 years. And we're talking about right now, Bruce, multiple offers is the name of the game. If you're a buyer, how do we make that offer look right? Now, what I do for my sellers is I take this process and I systematize it, and I make sure we've got it set up for a 4-day bidding period. Excuse me.
Cleve's got a little bit of a cough going on over here. So I'll tell you what, I'll take it over while he shoves a cough drop down his throat. So I will tell you a little bit about So, I'm not a real estate agent, but I work with real estate agents every day of the week. So I can tell you that Cleve's process when he goes out to evaluate your home is so much more thorough. He just absolutely takes a personal attention to making sure that you always know the right thing to do to your house, because he'll stop you. I'm getting ready to spend $25,000 on my kitchen. No, you don't need to do that. I want you to paint. I want you to clean the house out. I want you to get rid of all the garbage, and let's get this house in a position so that we can truly get the most for it without you spending a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, the new buyer may want to do something completely different than what you have in mind.
All right, so
are we back in action?
We are back for a bit. Staging, spend about 1 or 2% of the price of the home usually. I've got a 50-point checklist on that. But the process, when I have something listed and I get all these offers from the agents, I call each agent and say, hey, your offer stinks. Make it better.
Right.
Or I'll be in touch. And I give everybody a shot at making it the best one. And I can always tell the people that have been wandering aimlessly for a year because their offer's $10,000 below list on a well-priced listing. So, but getting them fast-tracked is really important.
Well, let's talk about FastTrack. So Cleve loves my FastTrack program because here's what it is. Most lenders start off with a phone call or a computer application from a client, and they pre-qualify you, meaning that I've pulled your credit, and you've told me how much money you make. You told me where you work. You tell me where your money is in the bank. So I've done credit, assets, and income, and it stops at that. Then once you send in your pay stubs, W-2s, tax returns if you're self-employed, divorce decrees if you're receiving or paying child support or alimony, then the loan officer, and I said loan officer, evaluates that and then issues a pre-approval letter. Well, I'm going to tell you something, and this is a fact. There's not a loan officer in the world with any country or any company around that's ever actually approved a loan. They don't do it. They're the loan officer. The underwriter approves the loan, not the loan officer. So why do we have the loan officer issuing a pre-approval letter? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So what we do is I take all your documents and I put them in front of an underwriter. The underwriter underwrites the loan. We get any condition that's necessary. Then I have a full loan approval. Now, here's the difference, and this is why Cleve likes it. Because if you're fully approved on my FastTrack program, the loans always close, and they close on time, and they can close quick. But here's how it benefits a buyer. Because a buyer says, well, I don't care if I'm approved quick or not. What do I care? You do when you're up against 15 other offers. Yeah. Because when you're fast-tracked with me, I will raise your chances on becoming a winning offer by up to 30% because I will guarantee the seller that I'll close your loan and I'll close it on time, or I will pay the seller up to $500 a day for every day I miss the closing.
Yep.
Now I cap that at $5,000. I've never exceeded $800 in 15 years of offering that program, and I've only had to pay it one time.
But that's the thing. I mean, when you said 15 offers, I'll get 15 offers. 3 have a solid pre-approval and say we're ready.
If 3.
And I'll call and check on it. The other 12, let's say 3 don't have one. The other 6 have a vague pre-qual letter saying, I think the buyer's not lying to me and they should be good to go, but I've seen 0 documents. Basically, that's reading between the lines. That's what I get. So
they'll write a pre-approval, but in the pre-approval it says subject to verifying income asset.
Yeah.
That's not a pre-approval. That's a pre-qualification.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's really important. You set your offer out there in the best light. You've got that, plus icing on the cake, Bruce. You call the agent.
Yeah, I absolutely call the
agent.
You
know how many other calls I get like that?
I call the agent.
0.
Matter of fact, as soon as we get off the air, I've got a series of calls to make because I've got buyers out making offers on properties right now. So what do you think I'm going to do on my Saturday and on my Sunday? I'm calling to advocate for my buyers so that they get the winning offer. Because if somebody makes 5 offers on 5 different properties, you start to become discouraged, right? So we don't want you to become discouraged. We want you to win. And it's hard to win in this market, so you need everything on your side. Choose the loan arranger at 407 250-9144. I want you to stop the car, pull the lawnmower over, park the vacuum cleaner, and just write down my number. I want you to know that you can count on me. I got your back. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Easy to remember, webringyouhome.com. Cleve, what's your phone number?
407-352-8118. And if you've been out there looking and hunting and you've written more than 3 or 4 offers and you're not getting the house you want, call me. That tells me there's some issues.
There's some issues,
and I can fix those. My team and I can fix those. 407-352-8118.
And what we want to do ultimately, Cleve, when you're positioning yourself as a buyer and you want to be the chosen one, the biggest hurdle is if you're competing against cash, right? So you're competing against cash. Let's just face it. On average, how much do you think a cash offer is lower than a traditional offer? On average, what do you think that looks like?
Cash, I see usually they're about 10% lower.
Okay, so let's just say it's only 5%.
Yep.
And that's on a $500,000 house.
Yep.
That's $25,000.
Yep.
Okay. Are you willing to turn your back to $25,000 American dollars just to take a cash
When you're
buyer?
saying it will close.
And I'm saying it'll close. And not only that, you got a family that's going to do it. This other cash buyer, I heard an advertisement on the radio today. They're just flipping these houses. So they're taking your profits, and you guys are buying into the commercials for these iBuyer companies. Don't buy into the commercials. Buy into somebody that cares about you, a local business person like Cleve and like me. We've raised our families here. We live in the community. We are here to make sure that you get to the closing table smoothly and on time, and you actually get the deal. Because if you're a buyer and you're not in contract, you don't have any opportunity to renegotiate. So call Cleve at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. Or call the Loan Arranger at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Cleve, I got a quick announcement I want to make here. We got some time, but I decided, because I found that there's a lot of people right now that have young adults, children, maybe 15 to 24. Okay.
Oh, this is your money class.
Well, it's
how to handle money.
It's my financial literacy class.
That's a great name.
It's an outreach class because I've never taught this before.
Yeah.
Okay, but I found that there's a lot of folks that said, you know what? I wish my kid knew how to balance a checking account. I wish my kid knew how to open an account. I wish my kid knew the proper way to save and how important it is to save. I wish my kid was taught how to do a budget, because I don't know about your kids, but my kids don't listen to me. But other kids will listen to me, right? So how to establish credit. If your kid's going to go through college, they're going to get bombarded with credit cards that they have no ability to pay. So how do we get them to establish credit early so when they come out of college, they've already got a 750 credit score? That's how Chase bought his first house. He had a 750 credit score coming out of college.
Yeah.
And then he saved for a year, bought a house. We can do that. I want to help your kids start the right way. Be financially responsible. It's going to make better citizens out of them. So that class is going to be on Wednesday, the 13th of this month at 6 p.m. It's a Zoom class. You can join it with your kid. But I want you to listen and let me handle this, and then you can evaluate me later and tell me what I can do better. Okay, this is my first class. I'm a newbie at this one, but I want to help your kids. 6 p.m. Zoom, webringyouhome.com. Get every kid in there. If you're a deacon, a pastor, a priest, if you're a teacher, get your students into that class. I want to help them all.
Well, I wish somebody showed me that. I mean, I didn't buy my first house till I was almost 30, and it's funny. I drove by it the other day, and I'm kicking myself for selling it. I bought it at a great price, sold it at not much of a better price a couple years later, and didn't know what I was doing. I should have kept it and rented it.
And, you know, Cleve and I are always welcome to share our mistakes with you guys.
Oh, I got a bunch of them. Yeah.
We don't go on the air and tell you how great we are and all the great successes we've had. Listen, don't get me wrong. Cleve and I have done very well in this business. We're both very successful business people. But we've taken our lumps along the way. right?
Oh, yeah.
We made some mistakes along the way. One of my biggest mistakes is I did sell. I wish I wouldn't have sold. There's only one property that I look back in my history and go, I'm glad I sold that house. Because it became a termite. No, yeah, it became a kind of had some termite issues, and I'm glad I sold it. But the rest of my homes, I look at and I sold, and I go, now, holy smokes, I would have doubled the price.
How much time we got, Bruce?
We got 4.5 minutes.
All right, I want to talk about there. It leads me into something else. Real estate planning. You got a financial planner. You should have one. You've got an accountant. You've got an estate planner doing your wills and trusts. You should have one. If not, call us. We'll get you one. Recommend one. But you should have a real estate planner. I help people all the time. I've got landlords with 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 homes. And we lay out a plan. Where's rent going to be? Which one? Oh, that one's kind of a dog. Let's 1031 that one. Let's trade that for your condo at the beach, rent it for a while, then move into it and homestead and retire that way. You've got 27 duplexes. Let's sell those and get 5 large luxury homes and give half the money to your financial planner. I help people plan this out. And most people don't have that experience. Most realtors don't, especially.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about investment property, first thing you should ask the realtor, do you own investment property?
Absolutely.
So
do you even own a property? If your realtor does not own real estate, uh-oh.
Yeah, be careful. But we've been through it. I know what works. I know what doesn't. I'm a student of my craft. I'm always learning. I'm always watching who does it well, who does better than I do.
We actually pay somebody to coach us, we're working with other people across the country.
Very, very, as Ron White would say, they are loaded, and these guys know what they're doing with real estate and with their money. So you need advice on that, give me a call at 407 if you need a real estate planner, 407-352-8118.
Yeah, or call the Loan Arranger, Bruce Woodburn, Cross Country Mortgage, 33 years in the business, ranked one of the top loan producers in Central Florida and one of the top in the country. I don't tell you that to impress you. I tell you that to impress upon you that other people are following me, and they follow me because I take good care of you. I got your back. This is not a sales pitch. This is actually me, the real deal. You can call my own personal line, at 407-250-9144. Write that number down. Text me there or go on my website and apply for a mortgage at WeBringYouHome.com. I'll help you whether you're a first-time home buyer, move-up buyer, you want to buy investment properties. I'll show you the do's and don'ts. You want to learn how to fix your credit. You want to know what down payment assistance programs are out there. You want to talk to Cleve and I about our first responder programs. Yep. Okay? State doesn't have a first responder program.
You do.
Federal government doesn't have a first responder program. The Loan Arranger's got a first responder program. Call Cleve. And Cleve, give us your number,
407-352-8118 or lovelandreport.com.
Or the Loan Arranger at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. Don't forget to register your youth into my youth class. Cleve, it looks like we're going to be doing another home buying class. I think we'll get that set up for sometime next month. We do have a busy May, though, coming up. But we'll get a class booked so that if you are wanting to know how to get into real estate, how to buy a home in this challenging market, you need all the tools in your toolbox. And by hiring Cleve and hiring the Loan Arranger, we can help navigate that for you. Don't waste your time with your sister's cousin's best friend's aunt that happened to be a realtor in 1974. Once again, we'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loan Arranger radio show, the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger radio.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger show. I'm Cleve Loveland along with Bruce Woodburn, my good friend, and my mortgage originator for life. I can say that. That's a big commitment for me, Bruce.
Mortgage guru. That is a big commitment.
My wife's the only other person who will be in my life for the rest of my lifetime, but you will be my mortgage guy because you constantly rescue. I have mortgages fall apart. The other agents freak out, say, well, we're going to try this guy. I'm like, no. We're only extending your contract if you go over to Bruce, and you rescue him.
Yep. Well, I love rescue. I got to tell you, I enjoy doing that too.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. So I want to talk a little bit about a different segment of the market in this last segment of our show. So right now, your choices are you buy resale, you buy an existing home that's already built, that somebody's selling it. You buy new construction from a production builder, okay? Production builders have got backlogs. They're backed up. They got tons of offers on them. You're going to have to wait 10 months to have it built. But in those home communities, and they're right for many of us, but you can't park your jet ski in the side yard. You can't even, some of them, you can't even have a shed in the side yard.
Yeah.
So they're very restrictive on the HOA. Then you have other folks that would like to maybe build a custom or semi-custom home on their own lot, or find a lot and build a home on. Well, there's not a lot of companies out there that do what's called construction to perm lending, right? So we've got a great construction loan. So we've got loans for conventional loans that'll go up to $620,000, $647,000, excuse me, on a conventional loan with as little as 10% down.
Yep.
Okay. But we also have an FHA loan. FHA limits are limited to 420. FHA loan, 3.5% down conventional. Now, much more flexible on credit.
20% down.
Nobody even has an FHA loan. I don't know any. I don't even know an FHA lender that does FHA construction to perm. They don't exist. But I also have a VA construction to perm, 100% financing, no money down. Now, I'll go up to 647 on that if you already have a VA loan. If you have no VA loans, I'll go up to $1.5 million with no money down. $1.5 million, no money down, build your own home on your own lot. Go find a lot. I'll close the whole thing together. You want a builder? I'll refer you to a builder. 407-250-9144. Stop screwing around with builders that you don't want to wait on and they're too restrictive. Call me. I'll help you get into your own home. Cleve can help find the lot for you. He just hired another new buyer's agent. I really like this guy, Brian, at Spring you brought on. So he's got a great team.
We can find you the land.
Yep.
And then you got to find your builder. You can recommend one. I've got a couple. And then it's a process. But you design your home the way you want. Because nowadays, I mean, our new construction, our builders, our regular builders do a great job.
Right.
But nowadays, they don't even have design centers. You pick package A, B, or C. They're so busy, they don't even care if you get to go pick your favorite cabinets. No. And this is going to be your tile, and you have this color, this color, this color. And they just kind of have simplified the process, basically to save these big nationwide companies, to save themselves salaries.
So those are your
options.
Money. Buy resale, buy production, or build your own home.
Build your dream home. Yep.
Build your dream home. Now, if you want to buy production, I'm still the preferred lender for Hanover Family Builders, Landsea Homes. I really like the Hanover Family Builders, family-owned business. I'm hoping that Landsea Homes is as good of an owner of that company as Hanover. If they are, I will continue to push them on the air because the relationship I've had with Hanover has been over the top. These guys are over the top, great builders. I'm really looking forward to seeing if Landsea Homes meets that same requirement. Are they committed to the customer? Are they committed to the realtor? Are they committed to the lender like me?
Yep.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. And by gosh, if they are, I'm going to push them and help them a lot. So I'm hoping that that's the relationship that continues to flourish. If you have any questions for the loan arranger, you can call me at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. If you'd like to talk to Cleve, he'd be happy to come out and visit you or help you find a home. He can be reached at
407-352-8118. You want to get a price on your home, figure out that process of buying and selling, we can help you with it. Call me, whether you're 3 months or 6 months away. 407-352-8118 or lovelandreport.com.
Have a great day and tune into my show tomorrow at 11 o'clock.